My name is Tiffany Draper. I'm from Huntsville, Alabama. Born and raised. I'm a mom, a sister, a friend, but most of all, I'm an advocate for women. And what that means to me is being able to help women get to a place of solace, of peace, and just pouring into them about self-care, self-awareness, what they could be doing as opposed to what they are doing. Most of the time, women come to me looking for a change in their lives about where to go, whether it's a job, a relationship, or what their next step is as far as like businesses or entrepreneurship. I worked a job at the city of Huntsville for about 16 years, and I ultimately retired from that job in June of last year, 2023. And I decided to become a full-time entrepreneur, which is very, very, very hard. So entrepreneurship looks really good when you're behind the scenes, but when you're like in it, it's super thick and it's kind of tough to navigate. Which brings me to all of the businesses that I've started over the last couple of years. I started an event center right before the pandemic happened, and I had an event that was called the Women's Ultimate Pop-Up Shop. And the Women's Ultimate Pop-Up Shop ultimately turned into the Women's Expo Huntsville, and that's been happening for 5 years now. I started with just 20 vendors in a small room, now to up to 200 vendors. And I have that event over at the Von Braun Civic Center every year, and it's amazing. It's a free community event. We see about 3,000 or 4,000 people every year for the weekend, and it's amazing. The Women's Expo is important because we highlight things like self-care. We talk about domestic violence, sexual assault, and I am an advocate for those survivors as well because I'm a survivor of sexual assault and domestic violence. And it's a testament for me to be able to be here today and to just kind of walk in my purpose. It's so important that I'm able to tell my story and to share with other women that if I can do it, you can do it too. My faith in God has really, really allowed me to meet people and know people and introduce me into rooms that I never thought even possible. It's just inspiring to know that someone could look at me and be inspired by what I do. So the Women's Expo is super important to me. I'm super positive that it's gonna be a national thing one day because I keep working at it. And every time I wanna give up, something brings me back to it and it's like, no, you're gonna do this. And I believe that God is telling me like, the very thing that you don't want to do is the very thing I'm going to keep making you do until you honor it and you're like, all right, God, I surrender to you. I'm totally gonna do the Women's Expo and be happy to do it. If the Women's Expo just brings one person together, two people together, 3 or 4, then I've done my job. I knew it wasn't gonna be perfect, but I also knew that it was gonna be purposeful. And I just wanna make an impact. I don't care about accolades, credentials. At the end of the day, I just wanna be a servant, and so that's what I am. So I have a heart to help people and to serve, and so that's who I am.